All right, today we're going to be talking credit scores, doing a brief overview. What is credit? How do you keep your credit scores high? How to get a perfect score? Things of that nature. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to make sure that you get updates as we release our videos weekly. Thanks. All right, so one of the most important things when it comes to qualifying for a loan, buying a house, getting a mortgage, is your credit score. It's probably the number one thing that I see that it keeps people from buying a home. A lot of people have enough income to do it, they just don't have the credit score, or because their credit score is so low, the interest rate that they get is not the best interest rate, makes it so they can't afford the house. Versus if they have a really good credit score, that interest rate goes down even lower, and that's what allows them to be able to get a good monthly payment, right? So I wanted to do this video real quick, talk a little bit, do a brief overview on credit scores, what they mean, and then how you can keep your score high so that whether you're ready to buy a house now or in the future, you can do it with ease. So first thing to go over, credit scores range from 300 on the low end up to 850 on the high end. 850 would be like perfect score, that's as high as you go. The other thing is there are three main credit bureaus that keep track of your credit: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Now, a lot of people, when I ask them, I'm like, oh, do you know roughly what your credit scores are? Notice I said plural, scores. Do you know roughly what your credit scores are when they want to try and buy a house? A lot of them give me one number, right? Like 680, 720, whatever it is, one number. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That's probably one of your scores, but we need to know all three. So, for those of you who don't know, you can go to each of these credit bureaus and monitor your score for free and see what's happening on each of those scores. I think there's a lot of great apps out there. You know, LendingTree is good, CreditWise is good, Capital One's got the CreditWise stuff that I think is a good option to monitor. But that's going to give you like one summarized score that they're using their own calculations to try and get you that number. You're much better off, and you're going to be more in the know if you go to each of the bureaus and log in separately to each of their accounts and see what their score is for you. So again, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. You want to make sure that you're watching all three of those. Now, when you create your profile and stuff, they're going to try and sell you something and be like, oh, get credit monitoring, you know, pay this much a month, pay 20 bucks a month, whatever it is. You don't need to do that. You just need to be able to log in, use their free stuff, get in and look at the score. And right now, last time I checked, they're updating those scores monthly. So that's super nice that you can see that. Now, when it comes to credit, the breakdown, what's happening, how they come up with your score, and what they're looking at to determine if you're a good person, you know, a good borrower or not, if they should give you money, if people should give you money. The number one thing that they're looking at is payment history. Your payment history makes up about 35% of your credit score. Second thing is the amount owed. The amount owed, 30%. Third, length of credit, that's 15%. Fourth, new credit at 10%. And then lastly, your credit mix at 10%. In this video, so we can keep it relatively short, I really just want to look at the top three that make up 80% of your credit score. So number one, your payment history makes up 35%. You have got to make sure that you're paying on time. You just have to. Like, if you're not paying your bills on time, that's going to kill your credit, and it's going to kill it fast. So if you have a hardship though, if you have, you know, a time frame where you're not able to pay the bills, and then you're able to show after that hardship that, hey, I do pay on time, I'm able to catch up, you're able to stay up to date for 12 months, you can write a goodwill letter to whoever you were making bad or late payments to. You can write them a goodwill letter, or you can call them on the phone and talk to them and try and get them to remove those negative reports, those late payments on your credit history. That's one option that can help you get your score up immediately, is if you can get them to do that. Now, that being said, they don't have to do anything based on that goodwill letter, but if they want to keep you as a client, they value you as a client, they see that you have good history in the past, they see that you have a good history now, there was just that little stint that you were late, a lot of them are going to be willing to help you out and do that for you. The second, the amount owed, 30% of your credit. You've got to keep your revolving credit your revolving debts down, your credit lines. So if you've got a credit card that's got a $15,000 max and you constantly have $12,000 on that credit card and you're not paying it off in full at the end of every month, that's going to affect your credit in a negative way. It deems you as high risk at that point. And then lastly, the length of credit, 15%. This is a tricky one because it's really hard when I'm talking to first-time home buyers that they're like, man, I'm only 24 years old. I've only had a credit card for 2 years. How do I increase my length of credit? And that's a great question. It's actually something that as parents we can do for our kids. A great option is if you actually put one of your children or multiple children on your credit card and give them access to it. Make it so that they're on the account. You don't have to give them access to the actual physical card, but make them on the account for the credit card. That will establish their length of credit as well. So I'm not saying give your kids a credit card, but if you allow them to be on your credit card with you and you make sure that you pay on time, because if you don't, you're going to affect their credit too. But if you make sure you pay on time, you can get them on, and that'll help them start building that length of credit and building their credit history in a positive way. Good news is though, is that you guys really don't need to know all the details, ins and outs of this if you're looking to buy a house. We've got great lending partners that will take a look at your specific score. They will pull your credit, see what late payments you have, see what debts you have, all of that stuff. They can run it through their system and tell you, okay, based on your credit report, your personal credit report, we recommend you do these 3 things. We recommend you do these 5 things, and that will increase your score the most. So if you guys need help with that, whether you're looking to buy a house, buy a car, whatever it is, or you just want to increase your credit, let me know. We're happy to help you with that and assist you with that and getting your credit up. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, DM me, leave a comment. You can contact me on my phone anytime or send me an email. Thanks.